Given the figure below, find the value of x. So as you look at this triangle, what you need to notice is that this is 10 and this is 10, and so that makes this an isosceles triangle because the two sides are congruent. And one of the things that we learned about isosceles triangles are the base angles are congruent. So if this is x, that means this is also going to be x. And we need that because we know the three angles of a triangle add up to 180. So now we can write x plus 30 equals 180. So now we start solving. X plus x is 2x plus 30 equals 180. Now solve it. Subtract 30 from both sides. And so we end up with 2x equals 150. Get rid of the 2 by dividing both sides by 2. And x equals 75. All right, 25. What is the measure of angle ECH? So we want to know what the measure of angle ECH is going to be. And what you need to notice is that these two angles are vertical angles. And so we're actually going to find this angle here. And once we find this, we'll know that. All right, so right now that 50 isn't enough to give us the remaining two angles here. So you need to see that this is a straight line. And so we're going to be able to find this angle. Let's go ahead and call it x. So x plus 110 will equal 180 because this makes a straight line. These are a linear pair. So now we can just solve that. Minus the 110 from both sides. And so we get x equals 70. So now we know that this here is 70 degrees. So now we can find this third angle. So we're just going to take the three angles. We can call this one y now. And so we know 50 plus 70 plus y, these three angles are going to add up to 180. So we get 120 plus y equals 180 minus the 120 from both sides. And so we end up with y equals 60. So that means that this angle here is 60, which also makes this angle over here 60 degrees. So the measure of angle ECH is 60 degrees. Using the figure below, find the measure of angle A. So we're trying to find the measure of angle A. We want to know what this is. And they tell us that x is equal to 122 degrees. So we know that this angle is 122 degrees. So what we need to do is, if I knew what this angle was, and I know that this right here makes this 90 degrees, so if I knew what this angle was, I'd be able to find angle A. And so what I'm going to have to do is use this 122 and these two angles, because these two angles make a nice straight line. And so we know that a straight line is 180 degrees, so let's go ahead and call this y. And we'll call this one y because these two triangles are congruent. So this is going to be y plus 122 plus y equals 180 degrees. So we get 2y plus 122 equals 180 degrees. Now minus the 122 from both sides. So that gives us 2y equals 58. Now divide both sides by 2. And y equals 29. So now we know that this is 29. And so now we can find angle A by doing 90 plus 29. Well, they've already used x. I use y, so I'll just go ahead and call this z. Plus z equals 180. So this gives me 119 plus z equals 180. Now just minus the 119 from both sides. And we end up with 61. So the measure of angle A is 61 degrees. All right, for 27, we want to find the value of x. So you should see the triangle. So we have this triangle here. And so we know that the three angles of a triangle add up to a 180. So we'll call this y. And so we have 61 plus 42 plus y equal 180 degrees. So this gives us the 61 and 42 makes 103 plus y equals 180. Minus the 103 from both sides. So this is going to give us y equals 77. So I know that this is 77 degrees. And so I can now use this linear pair, the 77 plus x, and the linear pair is 180 degrees. So minus the 77 from both sides. And we end up with x equals 103. So the value of x is 103.